Right, welcome back to the channel. We got two videos today really talking about the precarious nature of where men's feelings sort of sit in our society today. And this isn't a this is not a video to assign blame to anyone. It's just this is the current state of affairs. So I'm I'm more of a fan of trying to find a solution that's going to work for you today rather than, in this case, trying to find something that is going to change the future situation. Let's fix today, and then we can worry about tomorrow. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
Hey family, so I just learned that a man cannot have full control and full access to his feelings. So what was explained to me is, let's say someone broke in a house, right? And everyone is afraid. Everyone is fearful, right? But only the woman is allowed to be scared because
Now, obviously, you're allowed as a man. You're allowed to be scared. You just have to overcome that fear, right? You have to deal with that. Like sometimes the fear won't go away, so you have to do it afraid, right?
he then has to get up and protect his family. If they are arguing, he has to console her, and he can't be consoled because she's the woman.
So unfortunately, we see a lot of that. I've experienced that myself where even when you're going to try to indicate what is wrong, say you guys are in a relationship, hey, this is a thing that's bothering me. I end up having to console how you took it, how I said it was wrong, how it made you feel was wrong. We know we don't really end up discussing what I initially came here to talk about. So essentially, I leave without any real resolution, just now made to feel worse that I brought it up. So over time, that becomes a very learned behavior. So men just don't bring things to you because there's no solution in it. You don't even want to hear it. You want it packaged in a way that makes sense for you, that you can resonate with. Essentially, doesn't have you as the person at fault. So if I'm going to have an uncomfortable, inconvenient conversation with you that's going to result in me being the bad guy, I can just cut you out the whole equation and just have it myself.
The man can express what he feels because her feelings are supposed to be far greater than his. And I never really thought about it that way. He says if they lose the child, everyone consoles the mother, no one consoles the father. If they lose a loved one, even though it could be his family, they always console her. How you holding up? How you doing this for him? I was like, is it really like that? See, this is why I don't like that saying, happy wife, happy life. Because it, to me, it really, even listening to that conversation, it is literally saying you as a man have to put your feelings on the back burner, because the only way that your marriage or your relationship is going to be happy is if the woman is happy. Therefore, you.
And it goes a step further than that. As a man, and your feelings, they become secondary to your wife or your significant other, then to the children, then to the larger immediate family. You still have the same fealties to your mother, your sisters, your siblings, right? Your parents. So men often just get quieter and quieter and live, you know, tighter, more compact emotional lives. Then we also listen to society and we listen to people here tell us that we need to open up. There's no lane to open up. There's no viable way to do that when when an argument proceeds, then those things that I told you in confidence come up, or my insecurities, which you are now very intimately familiar with, become very real. So men, they get quiet, right? What on a more positive note, because I don't want a completely depressing video, men have are starting to learn to form their own groups of other men where they can talk about these things. It's not as if we now have to talk about it, say with a therapist, with with your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, that you have to talk about it in a way that's digestible for a woman to get. Sometimes men just need to be around men so they can express whatever that feeling is and get it out the way they do. Sometimes it's companionable silence. Sometimes it's a, I know what you mean. And you guys can sit there commiserately and say, and let that sort of seep out of you. We're different, and if we had, theoretically, if women were just, let's go with the premise that women are better emotionally at dealing with emotions, then it naturally would make sense for women to be our safe space to help us deal with those, help unburden us. But the way we've moved today as a society, it's not about that any longer. It's what can you do and what can you produce for me, and we never really hear that opposite side of the conversation. We hear women say they want to be married, but we never hear why, right? Like, what is the benefit to a man? Or what is how is this going to be helpful to him? We don't hear that initially. So it's becoming a harder and harder sell for most men. And it's like, what's the point? To do more of this, I'm gonna sign up for it and entangle myself even further with you when at a moment's notice, my emotions have to take the back seat. Then the back seat in, the Odyssey is just further back. Now I'm in the trunk. Now I'm left at home as everyone in their emotions gets to ride off to Disney World.
You're not allowed to think, feel, react. Like you become a robot in this relationship because only one person is important. Y'all listen. I don't want somebody that operates the way I want him to. I don't want somebody that's not allowed to think and feel, be vulnerable, react. Like, I don't want that. Why would anybody want that out of a person? Y'all.
I think people want that because it keeps them safe. If you and never have to face critique that you are not perfect, that you make mistakes, and when you make those mistakes, you need to be held accountable. There are consequences for those mistakes. It it it's a challenge, and as much as we may say we want challenges, you don't want the challenge to be that you are not as good of a person as you believe yourself to be. I don't think women are ready to really confront that and say some of the choices you made in life have left you where you don't want to be. It's a tough sell. It's a tough thing to hear. It's a tough thing to internalize. It's an even tougher thing to confront.
Is that really how y'all feel? Y'all could tell me the truth. Is that how y'all feel in your relationship? Y'all feel less than? I want to know. And
So another thought that just hit me relating to the larger subject of Sid's channel. When women ask the question, why don't men pursue us anymore? It's because some of you men have learned to understand who you are, and they don't like you. Right? They don't like you. A man cannot like you and physically be attracted to your body. And you're in it, you're running this race. From the time you guys met to soulmate and you guys are married. Like, this is your race as a woman that you have to run. He's running a much tighter race, right? I'm just trying to sleep with you. So this is going to come before this. So if I just have to kind of deal with you and your awful personality, for this amount of time to get what I want, yeah, I think most men will take that. You've got to run a marathon, and I've got to do, you know, maybe a 300-yard dash.
then for those that do feel like that and feel like you have no voice and no say so and that you are not important, why are you still there? Why?
I think most men have trouble just leaving a thing. It's uh it's a we say it from a place of scarcity, right? Where we know what it took to come here. And we're scared that there won't be someone else after this. There won't be someone else that I could build what I have, right? It's a sucking cost fallacy. I've put in so much time here, so much effort. It can't be for nothing. It can't be, wasted. I think if men, and this is a cue I wish men took more from women. If you're not happy, get out. She's right. If you're not happy, get out. Right? As abrupt as it may be, it'll get better. It'll get better. Get out. Just when we have our conversations, most men, they're happier after leaving something that wasn't serving them. So yeah, get out.
Why? Why would you put your own peace and your happiness aside?
Again, let me apologize for you're routinely stopping this, but men have been taught to routinely put their peace aside, right? That because that became the way, one of the only ways to maintain a thing, to maintain a relationship. We have to sacrifice, right? We're taught that in our lives of production. You have to sacrifice your time to get the paycheck. You have to sacrifice your time with your family so you can provide, paradoxically for the said family. You have to put aside how you feel because she's currently feeling something as well. And one of your feelings, takes priority. You have to be the one to comfort her, right? It's almost whenever you see a couple break up, or even say the woman cheats on the man, the first thing you see in the comments, first thing you see, well, what did he do to her? Right? What did he do to her? Men have to sacrifice that, their potential innocence in the situation. What did he do? He could have done nothing. He could have done everything. But the preposition is always, it's a man's fault and it's a man's duty to fix it.
Y'all, I have questions.
She got questions.
Okay, family. So I just learned.
About 3 months ago, we were out at this neighborhood block party. Some guy, pretty drunk, started getting handsy with my wife. I'm not a big guy, but I stepped in, told him to cut it out. He swung first, and yeah, I caught the worst of it. Broken nose, jaw wired shut for a bit. Since then, it's like something shifted. My wife's polite, sure. Thanks for dinner, good night, all that, but the spark, gone. She avoids eye contact, flinches if I hug her, says she's just tired. And this is the part that messes with my head. She's suddenly the one staying late at work, taking the kids to her mom's every other weekend. I keep replaying that fight, wondering if seeing me get flattened made me less safe, less attractive. I'm proud I defended her, even if I lost, but now I'm scared I lost more than the fight, I don't want to pressure her, but I'm worried I'm turning into a roommate who pays the bills and tells bedtime stories. I guess I'm asking, is this normal trauma fallout? Do wives sometimes pull back after seeing their husbands hurt? And if so, how do I bring the romance back without sounding like I'm begging?
It's so sad to listen to that, because as a man, you're trying to do the right thing, right? Trying to intercede on your wife's part. And the fallout of that is you lose a fight, and you had no business doing that, because men understand their own physicality. Men understand where they fall in the hierarchy, compared to other men. You know this man you probably can't take, and but you coming in to do your duty as a husband, and it costs you your marriage, right? That's where that sounds like that's going. She's lost her attraction for you, right? Almost instantly. To see you in that vulnerable state, defeated by and again, we're not here to blame. We're not here to point fingers. And I think they both would serve from being able to communicate those things. But this is part of what a lot of men fear. And this is probably why a lot of men end up in prison, because tangentially, or very much so, involving a woman. hey, I know I can't take that guy, so naturally the first thing I think about is grabbing a weapon. And here you are. Now you're locked up, and maybe one person's dead and you'll never see her again, and she's with someone else. So it's tough. It's a tough position as men to sort of navigate a maze like structure of our feelings and what is allowed, what's not allowed. This is not to lay blame at women's feet, but as men, we need probably take accountability for how we operate, and then what we won't allow and what we will allow. To say, like, this is where we kind of hold the line. My feelings matter. Whether or not I intervene on things, that's important. I have to do that as your husband. But if you're the type of woman that will leave me once I lose a fight, that I try to intervene to save the kids, then we should probably have that discussion ahead of time. Like, what does protection look like for you? In the very worst case scenarios, we say the vows, rich or poor, sickness and health, but we don't have a society that really, fundamentally supports what marriage used to be and what marriage needs to be now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.